A quick note, it looks like we're getting started here. Liam going to start at Link's house and Michael starting at Sanctuary. But both runners get to start with the boots, so we got to go fast, and that's what Liam is going to use to potentially go check Saha's closet. It's a standard opener in Overworld glitches.
Yeah, but we did get a very early, very quick map check. We saw that Eastern Palace was a pendant, Hera and Desert are regular crystals. 5-6 crystals don't really mean a whole lot in this mode, but they're worth noting. We don't have any. And Michael nabs a sword in the Bonk Rock, so that'll be almost impossible to miss. Nobody's going to skip the Bonk Rocks in the start of a run of these.
And Liam found 300 rupees on the island in Lake Hylia, so gonna do a funny auto walk thing and collect the 300 on the island real quickly. That is the technical term for it. Funny auto walk thing.
It's about as good a descriptor as anything, and there's blue mail over in the mushroom spot, so damage isn't going to be a major concern until later. Now, Michael doing a little bit of a roundabout route here. He's going to go check the Lumberjack Cave after the Lost Woods, and then I'm guessing this route is going to lead him maybe up Death Mountain early?
Yeah, that is a potential here. Does look like that is going to be the case. So, in Overworld glitches, for those of you not familiar, Death Mountain is fully accessible in Overworld glitches from the start. No items required.
Make a nice little jump down there. We see Death Mountain all covered in grass, looking not very death at all, as well as a half magic bottle right there on Spectacle Rock, which is also Sphere 1.
And Liam picking up that sword as well. Gonna go, looks like he's gonna go check Lumberjack and gonna grab what's on this tree pole here. Just some hearts.
Michael, unfortunately, heading into Hera, which is going to reset that, nice little grassy palette on Death Mountain. But he has a chance of clearing this dungeon. If the next chest is the big key, he can clear it. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to kill Moldorm. And if there's an item in the basement in general, he won't be able to get that till he finds some fire source of some sort.
So it does look as if Hera is fire locked, so we will be coming back later if we need to. I didn't catch if it was a crystal or not. I don't know if they did map check.
Yeah, Hera was a crystal, and we also got a hint in there saying there's a unique item in Desert Palace, which they could go grab whenever, unless it's on Land Molus himself, who also requires fire. The Swamp Palace big key requires the hammer. Thanks.
Who would have thought?
And Michael going for the hover back from Spectacle Rock since he didn't have the bombs to do the bomb jump. Fell about halfway through, which really loses next to no time over just jumping down to begin with, so well worth the attempt.
Yeah, you have some fancy people that try to do it on the way in, which that could lose you some big time there.
Oh, it definitely loses some time sometimes. Liam over here in Blind's hut, finding 20 rupees, a heart container, a bug net, and some arrows, so nothing really valuable going on. But those flippers are nice. I like seeing the flippers nice and early. It opens up a few of the few things that are not actually accessible with just the boots.
Yep, such as Swamp Palace. But for those, you know, in normal no glitches logic, you can fake flipper to things such as Ice Palace or your Lake Hylia checks, but those aren't in logic. In overworld glitches, they are expected and required in some cases because those are in the logic. So that is a key differential between this and no glitches logic.
Michael got the Master Sword in Kakariko Well, worth noting. And yeah, it's not just the major glitches you see all the time in these races that are required by logic. It's all the minor glitches too. That even includes the minor glitches inside of dungeons, which, it's not... We can't use major glitches in dungeons in this mode, but minor glitches, they can be actually required.
There are a couple of things that aren't in logic. If I remember correctly, the potion camera unlock that you do in pod is not in logic, and dark rooms are never in logic.
And Michael, who came to do Uncle after having already gotten the sword, is going to head straight into Escape. Liam is going through the race game naturally, which is not as common a thing to see, since you can do a clip that gets you the item without having to go through all this. Having a little bit of trouble there, but gets a hammer for his efforts. So now with hammer and hookshot, he has a little bit cleaner routing in terms of some stuff, especially on Death Mountain. Michael, meanwhile, finding the pearl and escape, so now the Dark World is all open to him as well.
Yep. Moon Pearl or Mirror is all you're going to need for Dark World access in Overworld glitches, and Pearl being the stronger of the two, obviously.
And Liam heading into Desert now, going to be looking through for the items here. We did get that hint in Hera saying there's a unique item here. Liam hasn't seen it, but he should be getting something unique. Could be the single arrow, could be, something really good.
Yet another requires the hammer hint, so the flute requires the hammer.
Yep, and it's not uncommon to see a lot of those because, yeah, hammer locks more locations than pretty much anything else in the game.
Michael K setting up that death warp.
I think he may have forgotten he had blue mail because he threw down 2 bombs and then kind of paused for a moment when he didn't die after both of them went down.
And there's our unique item. We got the ice rod. We'll see if that's required, but there's a chance it may not be.
I mean, we found it less than 10 minutes into the seed, so it's only right that T-Rock is a pendant.
Yeah, ice rod is often required if it requires a search for it. That's the way it seems.
Good old anecdotal feeling there, but can't really argue it. And that was actually super convenient that the hard container there in Desert was in that bottom room, so you didn't have to go up to the vanilla big key spot. You could just kind of go right back here. Michael, meanwhile, in the dark room getting the small key, and going to take it all the way to the back.
Alright, so Liam is doing a save and quit and headed south to South Shore. So, one thing in Overworld glitches you may see a lot of the time is a lot of people skip the castle for a while. So, we'll see if Liam heads that way anytime soon, but if he can find the mirror, he may skip the castle for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're doing a lot of shenanigans the logic doesn't expect, there's not a whole lot that you can do in Dark World before you would need to find the pearl anyway. But depending on how comfortable Liam would be to do some of those shenanigans, well, it could be a lot of Dark World before he got there. We also find a little bee in a bottle on the back of Escape, so next time Michael's over in Kakariko, he can go ahead and turn that into the Sick Kid and see what he gets out of that.
And Liam giving our first look at Mini Moldorm Cave. Let's see what we got here. So far, Liam has found a lot of valuable items, so let's see if that trend continues.
Magic Powder and the Glove are both pretty solid. We get Sankard to round it out, get that health back up. And Michael finding the mirror in Cave 45.
Which that's something that Liam skipped out on. May go back for it now, though, because he may have wanted to route it in with Checkerboard.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see him not do that while he was over by Desert, but hopefully now that he has those gloves, that'll push him back that direction.
And Michael K doing a little bit of a sequence break to get into King's Tomb. Or is that a sequence break? Is that expected? I can't remember.
I believe that one is in Logic, or at least it's planned to be in Logic going forward. But interesting way to describe that glitch for those watching is that because you're standing on a bush and a dark rock at the same time, the game gets confused and thinks that that Titan's Mitt rock is actually a bush, and it's like, you don't need anything to lift this, go right ahead, you're fine.
So what is interesting is that Michael K made a break for the Dark World, so... Oh,
Whoops.
and he was trying to do a Death Mountain descent, but the key thing to do there when you are doing that is you have to bonk upwards before you press anything else, otherwise that infinite screen scroll will happen.
I do think he was actually trying to set up for the super jump since he didn't reset the camera. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what he's doing here.
He looks like he's doing a... he hit a transition and the mirror at the same time, so he's basically doing... I'm not sure what the end goal here is going to be, but it's a transition glitch, because when you hit the mirror in the Dark World at the same time as entering a transition, it's kind of like a YBA.
Yeah, it looks like that rat just put him down to the bottom of Death Mountain, which is actually really neat. I didn't know that that was the thing you could do there. Liam is thinking of the castle. He used his power gloves to go to the back of Escape. Now he just needs to go to the front to get that pearl, and he'll be in some pretty decent shape.
Yeah, as long as he gets that pearl, the mirror is gonna help, but not necessarily gonna be required at the moment. But yeah, he's gonna need to find that pearl.
Looks like he is now doing a Death Mountain ascent of his own, a little bit different than the one Michael did. This is kind of the most common one you're going to see. It's one of the easier ones. All you got to do is make sure you scroll the camera far enough that the transition to Old Man Cave is on screen when you go into it. Otherwise, it can take up to 18 minutes for the transition to happen, and nobody wants to wait for that.
But even though that Michael K did not go to East Death Mountain, that doesn't mean that he couldn't. But I kind of expect to see Liam at this point go east.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a little bit more standard routing about Death Mountain from him. You could easily hookshot over to East Death Mountain, go through Paradox Cave, walk over to Hera with the hammer, and then if he wants to go back for Spiral Cave, he can grab it pretty easily after Hera.
Yeah. Because there are ways to get to the east side using clips that you don't need the hookshot or the hammer to. You can just get over there with no items.
Michael opens the big chest, gets killed by a mini Moldorm, which knocks him right back to the start of the dungeon, where he was going to use a mirror anyway. But, you know, it might have saved him a little bit of time. Or wasted a little bit of time. Probably more so wasted. Yeah, chat pointing out the discrepancy between these two in terms of health. Michael's sitting on 4 hearts, while Liam is sitting on 10. Which is just a little bit of a difference. It's a little bit of a safety concern for Michael.
But the interesting thing is that Michael has the mirrors, so we'll be able to route in all the Kakariko stuff at the same time as Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, which is a beautiful perk when you're able to do it. He also has that bottle, so he's going to be able to do Sick Kid while he's here the first time. His routing has very much worked out, although the glove down in Mini Moldorm Cave may elude him for a while.
Yeah, and doesn't look like we've had a map check for the Dark World yet, so we won't know if that glove is required. The only thing that you need a glove for is Ice Palace to lift the rock for Cold Stare. If Ice Palace is not a crystal, you can complete the seed without ever picking up a pair of gloves.
But ironically, mitts are required for just a couple things, the Blacksmith Chain and Ice Palace as well, but both of those you can break around. The Ice Palace you can get to with a mirror wrap that's nice and fun, and the the Blacksmith you can get to with a YBA. That'll be pretty simple to pull off. It just kind of removes collision around the Blacksmith.
Yeah, there's also the mirror jump, which is, I guess, the more classic approach, where you hit the mirror. You gotta stand in a certain spot to wedge yourself in as close to the blacksmith as you can, and then you just kind of jump off the ledge to the left and hit the mirror as soon as you start the jump on the same frame, and it'll kind of creep you a little bit forward. You got to do that a couple times, and then you'll be free to walk up to the blacksmith to grab him.
Oh, Michael. Michael, no. He tried to do the chicken clip, and because he picked up the chicken on the same frame, it either started or stopped moving. I wasn't paying that close of attention. He lifted up an invisible, non-existent chicken, which prevents him from walking through doors. If you notice it quick enough, you can run into your bomb explosion and knock yourself free of it, but he didn't quite notice it in time and ended up having to save and quit out of the chicken hut.
Those Cuckoos will get their vengeance one way or another.
If that's one of those glitches that, it's fun and it's entertaining to do, but if you mess it up, then, as you saw with Michael there, it can really hurt you.
And Michael doing what is called the Death Mountain Super Drop, you can use that clip to just drop on down to the bottom of the map just casually.
Yep, you watch Link fly across the screen 8 times, and then he ends up landing 8 screens lower. Also, wow, that hint is awful.
Yeah, unique item on Saha, that's not what you want to see, and Liam doing one of the Death Mountain descents here, the Zora area. You can just kind of clip off that ledge and walk down in the right spot, and you're just outside Zora here. And with the flippers, we'll be able to access Waterfall Cave as well.
But we did get a map check on Michael's side. We got our red pendant in Thieves Town and our green pendant in Swamp, which is guarding that unique item. We also see the 5 and 6 crystals on Skull Woods and Misery Mire, but since the mirror is available, there's literally no reason those will be important over any other crystal.
Yeah, we don't need no bomb to get in the Pyramid Fairy.
Liam's still dodging the castle, which has his Moon Pearl, heading over to the Eastern Palace area. Gonna go check Saha's hut, as well as going to the back here. Now, interestingly, if Michael had the items that Liam does, he could clear Swamp Palace and get that green pendant now. But lacking the flippers, the hammer, the hookshot, or just the hammer and hookshot. He has the flippers, but he's lacking the hammer and hookshot is what I was going for. That's going to prevent him from doing anything more than the first chest here.
That chicken hurt him more than he knows, because the hammer on Race Game, I can't remember where the hookshot was, but I believe it was in the Kakariko area.
I want to say that was maybe the tavern. And Michael unfortunately wasted a little bit of time there. I think he was trying to jump on doing Swamp Palace, and then remembered he couldn't because he drank. Oh no, wait, he was just going to get the item there. I'm dumb. Never mind. We were discussing Swamp, so I forgot the option of, just checking the item in the dam was also an option. He's got his glove and his powder now, the best safety in the game, as well as that glove that you're going to need one of. We know Ice Palace is a crystal, so we know we're going to need it. But now he's still looking for the hammer and hookshot that, like mentioned, he was so close to.
Michael K gonna check out Stumpy here. Meanwhile, Liam giving us a look as to what is inside Eastern.
Which so far is pretty much nothing. Michael is going to be heading over to the Misery Mire area, and we did get a hint showing us that the Pyramid Fairy is useless.
And Michael gonna show us what is on checkerboard here. And it's it's the Hylian to English dictionary.
Which is actually convenient to get right here, because you can just go over and clip right up to the Bombo's tablet and be able to use that book pretty much right away.
Yep, and that's the only thing that the book is useful for in Overworld Glitches is the tablets. And we got Quake for Misery Mire.
Yeah, T-Rock you're not going to need the medallion for in like 99% of situations, but Mire you're going to need it every time. There's no way to get into Mire without actually opening the door.
And we still do not have a fire source, so Michael K is going to go into desert, but still no fire source, so won't be able to complete just yet.
If he will grab his ice rod, his big key, and get the heart container over there, but he's not going to be able to complete it, which, all things considered, you can get back here quick, so that's not too painful.
And Liam giving the bat a little bit of a sprinkle here, and let's see what item we are cursed with today. We are cursed with not quite a full heart container, but here have a piece of one.
That's only going to curse you with a little bit of his love. He's not going to go all in and give you all of his love as a curse, but, you know, he wants to give you a little taste of it. And Sick Kid had just a piece of heart, so that's not all that exciting. Liam is getting very, very tight on locations he can check, but looks like he's about to go get his mirror. And then it's a matter of, is he going to try to go into Dark World, or is he going to go to the castle and get that pearl?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do checkerboard and probably K45 at the same time. Yeah, getting the mirror could be bad in this case because depending on how many tricks he knows that he can pull off as a bunny, you know, that could take some time out of his day.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, if you know what you're doing, you can get through pretty much the whole game as a bunny. But it's a lot slower than just having Pearl and being able to do things normally.
Yeah. Especially if you're not used to doing it, because even if you can complete it as a bunny, there's completing it as a bunny and there's effectively completing it as a bunny. And if you're not used to bunny routing, you may end up having to reset things a lot more than normal.
And I should note that the reason why you can complete this seed in particular as a bunny is because Swamp Palace is a pendant. You can't actually get through Swamp without Pearl, but pretty much everything... Well, you can actually, now that I think about it. You just have to get... No, you can't. Never mind. Back and forth on that, but you can't get through Swamp without the Pearl.
You can do 0 HP revival in Swamp to get access to it.
Oh, right. That silly glitch is a thing.
So, what I'm referring to is that there is a glitch that you can get down to 0 HP if you take damage that would... Oh, and Michael K digging up the fire rod. There's our first fire source. But if you take damage on the same frame, or that would take damage that would kill you on the same frame as transitioning into a hole, well, it pretty much has to be a hole, but same frame as transitioning, you will then be at 0 HP as you transition. So if you jump in the water, it'll actually kill you if you don't have the flippers. Which I guess you couldn't if you already have the flippers do a 0 HP revival. Oh, well, as a bunny, never mind. As a bunny, it will reset you as well. So I guess flippers wouldn't matter.
Yeah, some of the more seldom useful, and by more seldom I mean virtually never useful things, kind of, you know, the nuances are hard to keep in mind all the time. Michael now gonna clip up here, do a teleport up onto this ledge, where he can now just walk right up to the Village of Outcasts, and he can complete what he was doing when he got caught up by the chicken clip earlier. So he's going to be caught up to Liam in the items from here soon, as well as having that pearl advantage.
Yep, and Liam is going to do some bunny shenanigans here. Starting off with a good old screen wrap.
Yeah, but he went in that cave to try to fix the camera, but the only caves that can fix the camera are multi-entrance caves. So going into Sanctuary, if he had done that after mirroring, would have allowed him to reset the camera, but his portal might not have been around the area where he wanted it to be.
Yeah, and with Liam having the knowledge that Pyramid Fairy is dead, he's not even going to go attempt to check Pyramid Fairy.
Does this little screen wrap again. This time he is mirroring out right on the wall here, and yeah, gonna head up into Sanctuary. So for those who aren't familiar with the earlier versions of Entrance Shuffle, the way the base game is actually coded is there are two types of caves: single entrance and multi-entrance. The multi-entrance ones are independent of the camera, and they actually have an exit point. When you walk out of that cave, it's going to tell you to walk out at X position. So the camera resets when you do so. The single entrance caves just tell you to walk back out where you came in, so the camera doesn't reset. It's relevant in entrance, or it's a distinction that was important in Entrance Shuffle, less so now. But it's still important in these major glitch modes where resetting the camera is a very useful thing to be able to do.
And Liam is trying to get a Super Bunny state. So what happens, or what you want to do is you want to mirror on the same frame that you enter a door or any transition, and you will gain Super Bunny state that way. Which Super Bunny state, you are able to swing your sword, use a potion, and pick up items and open chests. Or pick up, like, bushes, rocks, whatever. Pots.
Yeah, most everyone knows the drop down the hole and you get Super Bunny trick from the aptly named Super Bunny Cave. As well as a couple things in Inverted that let you do it. But the mirror on entry 1 is only really useful for exactly one thing in No Glitches logic, and that's getting into the mire shed a little bit early.
Yeah, it can be useful in Entrance Randomizer, though. While it wouldn't be in logic there, it still would be useful.
And Liam unfortunately lost his Super Bunny state by getting hit by a Gibdo there. Now he's going to kill himself, which is going to revive him in this dungeon in full Link state. The downside for him is when he walks outside, he's no longer going to be in the Dark World. There's a thing that happens in the vanilla game if you die in a Dark World dungeon before you kill Aghanim, where you're going to end up in a place called Fake Dark World. It's a Dark World screen, but the game thinks you're in the Light World. There are some applications of it, so the fix that was put into No Glitches Rando was removed for major glitch modes, but it is a little bit annoying if you actually want to stay in the Dark World. Now Michael in here taking on everyone's favorite boss, Moth. I don't take damage if I'm touching Spike's Eula.
And a quick Mothula fight, rewarded with a compass.
What value? So, interesting note about that fake Dark World state that Liam is in. Because the game thinks he's in the Light World despite him being on a Dark World screen, he doesn't turn into a bunny when he leaves. So, until he leaves the screen, the game's gonna think that he's in the Dark World, and also that he's in the Light World and shouldn't be a bunny. You can't actually use that to clear Skull Woods without the Moon Pearl. It's not in logic because if you kill Aghanim, then it breaks and you can never do it again. But it is a little bit of a thing that you can do. But as soon as he walks off the screen and goes over to any of the next screens over, he's going to immediately end up in a Light World screen.
Well, quote-unquote Light World. The sprites will be a little messed up until he corrects that, but yeah, you'll have some Dark World sprites in there, and some Light World sprites there, tiles. It looks so weird.
Yeah, compared to what you can do with major glitches, not that weird, but definitely weird if you're unfamiliar with it.
Oh, and here we go. This is looking like the escape play that Liam needed.
Yep, so at this point, the advantage of his early routing, those items that he got a lot sooner than Michael, has all been erased. He's gonna be a little bit behind, all things considered. Obviously, Michael already has a crystal, but he's also done a good deal of Dark World checks that Liam hasn't touched yet. Takes the pearl, keeps going. Says, I'm not gonna just dip out of here. I can't risk that. I need to figure out what else is in here.
So Michael is setting up for the mirror jump version of Grab the Blacksmith.
It's not the fastest glitch in the world, but
Alright. So from this point, you just need to jump off the ledge and transition as on the same frame. I believe it's twice, and then you'll be in a position where you can just walk upwards and grab the frog.
I've been Michael making use of select buffering here to keep an eye on the frames, but unfortunately makes the full jump off, and that undoes all the work he just did.
So what I expect is that he may go just grab a red potion from the shop. Or maybe...
Still gonna go ahead and set up to get the hammer pegs taken control of. He's gonna have to do it blind, which is always a little bit interesting, but... As you can see, the camera for this mode gets a little bit confused sometimes.
Yeah, that's how you can tell you've done that trick once or twice, when you can do that blind.
Now, Liam is over here on Dark Death Mountain, which is another thing that we haven't seen Michael do yet. It's 10 arrows and a tempered sword out of Super Bunny Cave, which is a real good find.
And Michael is going to check Magic Bat not only to reset his screen, but to just go ahead and route this in.
Yep, the routing there worked out real nicely. It would have been nice if he could have gotten the blacksmith over here at the same time, but obviously he knew when to call it quits on that. You don't want to take the time to try to do that trick twice. And Dark Death Mountain is junk. 100% junk.
Well, not 100%. We got a vacant sword out of it.
That's true. I did kind of not give the sword its due. Having that sword is definitely worth the trip. Michael had a little bit of a side effect of having the inputs get just a little bit off. Trying to clip up to Hera there resulted in him doing a crazy jump. Tried to get himself out of it, couldn't, so he just saved and quit and is going to do this again.
And Liam picking up a red mail in that Mimic Cave there, so Michael gonna go ahead and complete Hera now that he has a fire source.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. There are 2 items in here still. We didn't find either of them the first time. And it's a pretty quick dungeon. You need to complete the crystal. There's not much of an argument to not do this. He did miss the block invincibility trick there.
So he'll probably do East Death Mountain after this.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine. There's not really anything else you could want to have for over there, and you're talking about upwards of 20 locations of checks over on that side that are just untouched so far.
Yeah, he may not head into Turtle Rock, given we don't have a Cane of Samaria. There's not a whole lot we can check. But what we may see is a Catfish DMD after he's all done with East Death Mountain so that he can start on the east side of the Dark World.
Would certainly be a very viable bit of routing. Liam over here is going to head up to Digging Game. He's going to be getting his Fire Rod soon, which will be a positive find for him. And there's a map. So we'll see if Moldorm has anything of value or if Hera is just the crystal we need, but nothing else.
But at this point, we're looking for... What are we looking for? We're looking for Bo. We're looking for Quake. And the Cane of Samaria... I think that's it.
Yeah, Logic is going to want you to have those Titans mids, but as mentioned, there are ways to get to Ice Palace without them. So we really just need those 3 things, regardless of what Logic wants us to do. I am curious if either of these 2 will make a Ganon's Tower play soon. They have all they need to full clear the left side. You leave behind 5 items, but you can get a lot of checks out of the way on the left side of GT.
Yeah, that is another viable option for Michael K here, to head down and do GT after he is done with Eastside. Probably the better option. But we must remember there is a unique item on the green pendant, so that could be one of the items we're looking for.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Liam, that hint was the Swamp Palace hint tile. Michael checked it when he did that super jump because he was right in the door anyway, might as well check the hint. But Liam's not going to go check that hint, so if that's an important unique item, he's not going to have that direction that Michael has to go there. It may turn out being a little bit fortuitous in that respect for Michael, that he didn't have the hammer and glove when he went into Dark World to begin with, because that's kind of the whole reason he was down there to look at that.
It could also end up being a curse as well, because there are plenty of unique items in the game. And if he ends up having to go do green pendant and it turns out to be something like a shovel that leads to nothing, well, that would be quite unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure. Just looking at the tracker, we have the bow and the Canis and Mario that are required, as mentioned before, as well as Quake. Those 3 things. But then there are 2 boomerangs, a Bombos medallion, and a Cane of Burna. There's a lamp, there's a shovel, there's a flute that no one's gonna need, there's another glove out there, there's a single arrow. There's a lot of stuff that's not required compared to what is required.
Yeah, also, do note that bow logically not only is going to be required for pod, but for GT. However, the Mimic Clip is allowed, so they can at least get past GT without the bow. If they know how to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they know how to do it and are capable of doing it in a race scenario. I tried to learn that trick the other day, and it's a lot harder than people make it look when I've seen people actually do it.
Oh, get your ped check hypes in chat. Liam's gonna read what's on the ped, and it's nothing.
Yeah, Michael gave us that info a little bit ago.
I missed that. So Michael's gonna get his 3rd sword.
I've been probably sitting there a little bit disappointed that he didn't have that for when he fought Mothula. He had a good Mothula fight, but Tempered makes everything better.
Who doesn't love tempered bacon?
Tries to bonk over the first gap instead of just hookshotting over, and promptly gets knocked away by the bar. Like, dude, come on.
So Liam is gonna go do Graveyard Ledge, it looks like.
Yeah, I'll probably nab this and King's Tomb in the vanilla way. Those clips can be required by logic, but it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not the hardest clip we have available by any means, but it's one of the ones that people tend to try to avoid because it can be a royal pain if you don't know it 100%.
And it does look like Michael K did the Catfish DNV, so it's going to check Catfish Mirror out and then check the Zora area.
I've been using that bonk off the wall as Catfish threw his item to set up the correct position for a quick warp, so you didn't have to wait quite as long for the mirror to go through. Quick warps are one of those things that I know about and know I should learn, especially as someone who runs NMG on occasion, but have never taken the time to actually learn how they work and where to use them, mostly because lazy.
Alright, so we got Liam in the Village of Outcasts.
At this point, he's mostly kind of doubling over what Michael did earlier. One thing that could be interesting is if he decides to go into Thieves' Town and go further than the front 4. I believe we only saw one item in the first 4 chests, and that's sometimes a sign for some runners, hey, let's go a little bit deeper. And it looks like Michael is making that play on Swamp to see what that green pendant hint is all about.
Yeah, this is a big play right here. Regardless of if it, because if it could go one of 2 ways for Michael. It could pay off big, or it could be a huge time loss. You know.
Yep. In all honesty, if it does end up being something useless on the green pendant and there's nothing in swamp, it could kind of give Liam the time back from getting the pearl so late. It would kind of balance out that whole thing of how much time he spent going to slow one-off checks instead of moving through the Dark World nice and smoothly.
Yeah, as far as gambles go, this is a pretty big one. I don't know if I would have done this early.
To be honest, Michael doesn't have a whole lot of stuff left in Logic, and with that hint saying a unique item is on Green Pendant, if you're going to be going over to Pod and Eastern, which you can't clear with your current equipment soon anyway, getting this done beforehand so you can route that all together is not a bad choice, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would have just went into Ice, but because if the Titansmiths show up, well, you know, that's one of the bare minimum things that could be in here is Titansmiths, because, as you said, of logical requirements, but that could be it, you know, so I think I would have done Ice first, because the clip is, the mirror wrap is not really that hard, but we'll see.
Yeah, I can certainly see where you're coming from on that. I think it's kind of, in some ways, down to a coin flip, because a lot of people will always want to go mode Ice if possible, some people always want to avoid Swamp if possible, and then it becomes this weird personal preference thing of what you want to take the risk on first. Liam over here gonna finish up Desert after checking the Mire shed. Hey, it's a shovel!
Yeah, because this is a play that Liam is not likely to make. This Swamp Palace play here.
That's true, and that's actually a pretty good argument for doing this now. Because you know that hint was in Swamp and your opponent probably won't see it, then you can say, well, if I get this and there's something important in here, it gives me a huge lead.
Right.
Also, he did skip left side initially. We'll see if he ever goes back for that or not.
Well, hey, there was something of value in here, but just not progression.
Yeah, it's not a lot of value, but it's value. It does let you do nice little zero cycle try next, but other than that, doesn't really save you a whole lot of time over Tempered. It's just kind of nice to have.
It's just like Silvers. I mean, you're not necessarily looking for it, but you'll take it if you get it.
Yeah, but it's a much nicer novelty with the progressive item system that's been in place for, you know, ages now, than it was back in the day of non-progressive items, where you just open up the first chest and be like, hey, I got Butter Sword. Yay. Slightly missed quick kill, got him on the second drop down with a second fire rod shot and a spin, gets the map. And as chat mentions, the items on the left side should be dungeon items, but there will be something in the big chest most likely.
Alright, so Michael is likely going to check that green pendant in the near future. Maybe going to GT now, right now?
He's not resetting his camera, so this is either going to be GT or Pyramid Fairy.
Did he get the hint that it was trash on Pyramid Fairy? Must not have. Because I don't think he would set up Pyramid Fairy if he knew that Pyramid Fairy was useless.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which hint that was. I know Liam saw it in one of the dungeons
Oh, it
he
was
in.
Eastern. It was Eastern, so yeah, Michael K definitely hasn't been to Eastern. And Liam is gonna go ahead and finish up Hera here. Michael K is going to Houlihan to Link's house.
Nice little bit of browsing to both reset his camera and get to his mirror portal here. So Liam is about to take the crystal lead on Michael, but depending on the value of that swamp play, may end up behind in progression regardless.
I think the worst thing for Michael K is gonna be, well, it's not, okay, so it can't be gloves, so it can't be, Titan's mitts. I was gonna say Titan's mitts would be the worst, but that's not a unique item.
I believe the gloves are actually an exception to the rule and count as unique item, if I recall.
Looks like he's gonna turn in that mushroom
here because he used that Pyramid Fairy play to go up and do Catfish, and then he'll be able to clip from Catfish down to Pod, at which point he will be able to turn in the green pendant, check Sahasrara, and go into Eastern and Pod if necessary.
Well, he's already done Catfish, so he'll probably just clip down from here. But he did not turn in this mushroom, which turns out to be some blueberries.
Oh yeah, good call on that. Good call. And a quick response to this comment in chat. Most of the overworld glitches you're seeing here, the majority of them, not all, but the majority, are based on moving into the wall 1, sometimes 2 pixels, depending on which way you're going at a time. Essentially just 1 movement at a time. And that's going to allow you to jump on ledges and teleport in weird ways, depending on how many pixels in you are.
Okay.
Most of the glitches are based on applications of that.
Here's the moment of truth. Is that swamp green pendant worth anything? It is! It's not the progression he wanted, but that is required.
Yeah, that is a 100% unavoidable item, so Liam's gonna have to do swamp at some point. I don't know when he's gonna get there. I think for Liam's sake, if you're rooting for Liam in this race, you want Meyer to have like the bow or the Cane of Samaria inside of Meyer, because he needs to be forced to do swamp while looking for other stuff, not just have Quake as the only thing needed.
Yeah, because those medallions, if it comes down to go mode medallion, it is one of the hardest things to track down because it could be pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, but it's pretty safe to say that Michael now has a very large advantage. Not something that is, guaranteed to be a lead when the time comes, but unless Liam makes a gamble on Swamp, it'll turn into a lead pretty soon.
Yeah, chat pointing out that there is the potential that last item in Swamp is something for progression, which would put Michael K in a position, but Liam might be one to skip that as well, so we will see.
Wow, if he had pulled that off after going back up to fix his horizontal alignment, I would have been very impressed. He's going for it again, though. As someone who routinely hovers the gap to try next, this is the hardest hover to pull off. that actually has value. Not only do you have to be hovering, but you have to be aware of exactly what pixel you're on. Stop at the right pixel to turn by sliding your thumb on the D-pad, and then turn again when the time comes back in the other direction to get yourself going into the rail. It's a royal pain.
And Liam picking up Rudy Tooty, fresh and fluty.
If at this point, I would be kind of surprised if he ever activates that flute. He might just for a little bit easier movement on some things, but it's not required, and I could definitely see him skipping it.
And Michael K going ahead and doing that potion camera unlock.
An interesting note for those who aren't super familiar, the major glitch community at large tends to seemingly side toward that potion camera unlock being a major glitch, but the general classification for rando has been minor glitch. So it's still a minor glitch considered in this tournament, despite most of the glitch community thinking that's not a good qualification for it. Liam fighting Armos without the bow, which is always a pain. He also doesn't have the second best weapon, the Cane of Berna, so going with sword beams and fire rod shots, and finds the Cane of Berna behind me.
They knew that it was the second best weapon, so they managed to hide that one away.
I would have been so happy if the bow had been directly behind Cane of Berna there.
So Liam is apparently gonna be at least trying the mimic clip here. Let's see how fast he can get these out of here.
Yep, so what you have to do here is you have to move to the right, effectively, for 1 frame to move the mimics 1 pixel into the wall. And then the next frame you have to be pressing up or down so they don't get knocked out. And then repeat that over and over and over again until they eventually moonwalk out of the room like a boss.
And then the doors open. So Liam using some buffering to get this achieved. Some people could do it without it. So it's just a matter of how familiar you are.
Yep, the menu opening and closing a bunch can be very time consuming, but compared to having to come back to GT and climb up later, it can still save you some time just for routing efficiency.
Yeah, this one is also something that is allowed in no glitches, but obviously not in logic.
Well, one small point on that one. It's kind of been case-by-case basis thus far. There's no quote-unquote official ruling for that glitch, whether it's minor or major. That's why it's kind of a tournament-by-tournament basis lately, because the overarching ruling has not really been made yet.
Yeah, and I believe that part of the basis that people have been using is that potion camera unlock glitch is part of that argument.
So now Liam going through the gauntlet, he will open the chest at the top here. He's obviously not going to find the bow, because that was required to get here, but he could find that Cane of Samaria or the, in his eyes, the Quake Medallion up here. and both of those would give him a good bit of info on where the bow could potentially be if he finds them. And at this point, we're kind of starting to get low on spots. I'm guessing there's going to be something in Mire.
And Michael K. disrespecting that hint tile that told him that Pyramid Fairy was useless. Says, I wish I would have known that earlier.
Meanwhile, Liam is remembering that going upstairs in GT without the Cane of Samaria for these really, really, satisfying rooms when you have Cane is kind of annoying.
Yeah, Liam is definitely going to have to use his magic wisely. Ooh, does get a little bit of a bump there. Because, very low on magic, doesn't want to miss any of these shots.
You will need to go up and grab the refill over here, so he may end up waiting to make sure no despawn. Nope, he still had time. Depending on your confidence level and how quickly you've been through that room, sometimes you'll put off going up those stairs just to be 100% safe.
And there's our lamp all the way at the top of GT.
Okay, that's actually a useful bit of knowledge, because you know that the bow can't be locked by dark rooms, which, there aren't many of in the way, but that rules out a good chunk of pod, that rules out Vitreous as an option. So it does give a little bit of useful information, actually.
And there's the compass, so if there's any progression in GT, we're gonna need to find a Cane of Samaria before we get to the last of it.
Yeah, but now, upon killing Aghanim 2 here, the hole to Ganon will be open. But a lot like all dungeons mode, if they go to try to fight Ganon and they don't have all 7 crystals, he's just going to tell them effectively that they're dumb and should go finish their goal. And he's not going to take damage in phase 4. They can fight him forever and he'll never die.
Go collect all 7 crystals, numpty. Michael K. trying to get the ledge there to hookshot onto, and it was just not cooperating.
Yep, eventually using the dip down. Quick question in chat. Liam did not do tile room because he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria. He can't actually get to the right side at all.
So this is good for Liam that he hasn't found progression yet. But I guess it's bad for him that he found the lamp, because now he's going to go to pod.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I mean, on one hand, the bow could be here. There are non-fire lock chests, but the amount of chests in here that are blocked by either the bow or dark rooms limits what you could possibly be looking for the bow here a lot. And you have other stuff available that has no limits for potential bow being there, that I feel might be a little bit better options at the time.
I don't get why our runners are avoiding ice. But I guess they want to go mode it. At this point, I'd have gone ice, because you can complete it. So you might as well.
The hard part with sequence breaking ice is just that if you don't have actual logical access to it, then as far as you're concerned, you should be go-moding it, and you kind of get stuck into the game of, do I go for it, or do I wait till it's in logic? It's kind of the same thing with fake flippering there in No Glitch's logic. Like, you can do it, it's a thing that is very possible, a good play, but at the same time, is it worth it to do it instead of waiting to see if it ends up in logic?
Yeah, Neko, you do need the Titan's Mitts for it to be in logic, but it is completable.
There are a couple ways to get access to Ice Palace. The main one, the easiest one, is to do a mirror wrap, which is where you mirror on the same frame you transition. If you're in a specific spot, you end up landing right in the middle of the Ice Palace Island, able to walk in the door. It's not in logic because the general logic for these modes have been to not require same frame tricks like YBAs or mirror wraps, that kind of thing. So it's one of those things that is perfectly allowed within the rules, but not in logic because it's very, very precise.
Yeah, and there is a way into ice that doesn't require that, but it's very convoluted, and there's a lot of paths to follow during that screen wrap that you have to make, and if you get it wrong, you may infinitely wrap. I'm not sure what happens, all the things that could happen when you get it wrong, but yeah.
Michael check Lake Hylia Island. He's going to clip through this wall here to quickly check Hobo, which is going to give him nothing. And then we'll see where he's going from there. A quick response to the chat. Yeah, the cane is the main reason Michael's not going to Meyer. He could push the advantage of that Quake medallion, go check there early on, but without the cane, you can't complete it, and Meyer's not a quick dungeon to double dip.
Yeah, that first kill room there is quite annoying. It depends on how well your execution with that room is. It can be either really quick or it can be slow.
And we find the third medallion, and Michael says, yeah, no thanks, I don't need bombos.
Disrespecting the Bombos medallion. Interestingly enough, we haven't seen anybody go into Turtle Rock yet, so that's another place that we could go to and get a couple of items, even without the cane.
Yeah, there's, I think, 3 or 4 chests you can get to without the cane of Samaria.
It'd be only 2. Well, technically 3 if you get the big key, but not that matters. Because there's Lava Chest and there's Chain Chomp. Well, I guess if you do get the big key, you can get Crystal Roller Room too.
Yeah, so I had most 4 chests in logic and all kind of pending the big key. Liam releasing the bee to buy some blue potions. He can use those to flute around the world as he feels like it. It's a pretty nice little YBA glitch.
So Liam is gonna head up to Catfish here. I wonder where his next move is gonna be, because he doesn't, from Liam's perspective, you don't have a lot of great options. Again, you can break into ice. You can go dip a pendant dungeon of swamp. For all you know, it's a pendant dungeon, and there's not necessarily anything of value there. You could dip Turtle Rock. You could try the Smiths.
Can do what Michael's doing here, going to the back of Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's another. I think this might turn up with something.
Yeah, and quick answer to a question here. There is a key layout in T-Rock that can logically require you open the front door. But if you kind of do things optimally and break logic a little bit, you can pretty much always get around it. I think there's... Actually, I don't think there is a key layout where you absolutely can't get around it by logic breaking.
Well, you can key lock yourself if you use your keys inefficiently into having to open the front door, but by default there is no key layout that will force you to open the front door. It just matters what you do with your keys.
Exactly, and I was just going to say shoutouts to Liam for the little spin he did after finding out that there was a hint saying Green Pendant had a unique item in the Green Pendant dungeon. So he'll definitely be finishing this up now.
So, now, will he do left? I don't think so, but it could be... if he does, there is a chance that it could pay off. And there's some progression there. Michael K. picking up the Cane of Samaria in the attic.
Yeah, it's a nice find. I could see left side being a good argument because you've got not that many locations left in logic, so you might as well just make sure you get everything out of here while you're here. He's going here a lot later than Michael did, so it's a much more valuable play to just full clear. But that cane opens up a good chunk of options.
Well, it also depends on what Liam usually does when he feels behind. Left side swamp, you know, it's kind of a gamble in either direction, you know, whether you do it or you don't do it. So it's like, while left side swamp is more conservative option, if you feel behind, you may skip it just for the time save alone.
Very true, and it does disappoint me. I'm going to briefly say this just for the record, but if you don't walk out of the door when you're going over to the Thieves Town big chest, you can dash and key dash right through the door on the other side. And I just had to watch Michael just have a little stutter step out the door before starting his dash, so he had to cut the dash off to be able to go through the door. It made me sad.
And we are gonna get Disco Blind. There we go.
Yeah, it takes a moment sometimes when you're going for this one.
Very nice. There is no practical application. This is just purely for swag.
I mean, if you're not sure you can get through the fight, you can walk out the door and run away if things get ugly.
Or skip a little bit of time, I guess.
Yeah, but small payoff. Not a very noteworthy one, but, you know, it's a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm sure that in terms of what you're looking for, Cane of Samaria is probably not the one you wanted to see first, because that means you should probably go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, you can now do all Turtle Rock, as well as those 5 chests that were left behind in Ganon's Tower that you really don't want to go back for without the bow.
So Michael K is going to set up to start at Laser Bridge. This is a bit harder than it looks, but yeah, you have to be pretty precise on this one, and you can just kind of mirror wrap right into the Laser Bridge entrance, and there you go.
Liam is going back into Swamp Palace for the left side for that one more item. So this could be a big moment in the race. There is a bow on the left side. He is going to kind of take that advantage Michael had for a while and swing it right back around.
Well, I wouldn't say that for sure, because that Cane of Samaria could go unchecked for a while. So I would say I'd put them at kind of an even knowledge base if Liam does find the bow.
True, although I would say that 3 items in Pendant Thieves Town versus 1 item back in Pendant Swamp, the Pendant Thieves Town play is much more likely to get made a lot sooner.
Yeah.
The way he gets to go through everyone's favorite process of draining the water and then having to go back around in this big old circle, and it's really slow and boring. Michael has nabbed silvers off Laser Bridge and nothing of value since. He's kind of threw the meat of the early part of the dungeon into this very, very slow walking through the middle area before he gets another burst of 3 chests at the front door area.
Yeah, that's what makes going backwards through Turtle Rock a little bit less exciting, because you start with Laser Bridge and work your way back to probably a bunch of keys.
And the final item in Swamp was admittedly the best boomerang. It's, more valuable than a red boomerang, but it was just a boomerang. That's not gonna help anyone. In fact, Liam has been through GT, which is really the only point where a boomerang is valuable. And Michael leaving the Chain Chomp chest unopened. That's a risky thing to do, I feel like.
Maybe he knows key logic or something, but I'm not the best with the key logic at this moment. But he could have. Maybe there's a layout that you could deduce that would be a small key.
I mean, there are 3 chests up here, so 3 small keys could be all up here with the big key vanilla. So, I mean, he already... Oh no, he doesn't even have the big key yet. So yeah, he might have been able to deduce that was a key. I'm not entirely sure of key logic and T-Rock for this mode. So if he did do that, props to him. That's actually very impressive. Okay, but that definitely wasn't a key, because he's got 3 left, he's got both dungeon items, he got 1 on Laser Bridge that he would have used already, so that was definitely not a key in that chest.
I wonder why he skipped it then.
Yeah, I really hope that doesn't come back to bite him.
Or maybe he thought he knew key logic and decided to go for it. I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe I'm counting keys wrong, it's possible, but I think we saw all 4 of them drop.
Yeah, we saw all 4 of them.
Also, this is gonna hurt Liam here. He's gonna go clear out Meyer. He might find the bow, but Michael's not gonna be far behind on clearing Meyer. If the bow's in here, he is very far behind. Michael gets his 3rd crystal. He will be heading... Oh, he's going to go back into T-Rock and get it from this side, I guess. He was betting on it being a key. Oh, no, maybe? Maybe? No, he was just checking that, he was just checking that hint tile. He's still leaving it there.
Looks like he's gonna go in from the middle, perhaps. Or maybe going to Spike/GT. Yeah, he's going in from the middle.
I think this is for Mimic Cave and probably the big chest while he's here.
And Michael K picking up that red mail, and looks like he's not a fan.
He had his portal a little bit misaligned, so when he hammer dashed out the door, instead of being pushed forward right into his portal, he was just pushed endlessly against that ledge, and couldn't really get off of it until he used the hammer again to break the spell, so to speak.
So he did not go back in for the big chest, nor the chain shop room. Interesting.
He did go in and grab the big chest, but he didn't go for the chain chomp room.
Oh, he did? I must be blind.
So either we miscounting keys, or that could be a potential major issue. Is he gonna do... Yep, he just pulled off a bomb clip to get away from that portal pretty quickly. That was pretty nice to watch.
And here goes the Meyer play from Michael K.
And he, unlike Liam, is going to be able to complete this while he's here. So, one way or the other, he is going to end up killing Vitreous while he's over here. There's really nothing that could stand in his way on that front. He's got enough health, he's got red mail, butter sword.
But
Liam is almost done with what he can get here. He's got the big chest and this chest next to it, but he gets item number 2, 20 bucks and a piece of heart or in Meyer. So, where's he off to next?
Liam does know where the lamp is, so again, that could be considered, you know, some form of knowledge advantage of as to where the bow's not going to show up. We could see...
At this point, they've both cleared all the dark rooms except for the one, the Vitreous, which has no item behind it, so that knowledge has effectively become moot.
We could see Bo be in right side GT.
That would be so rude.
because that Cane of Samaria has been accessible for quite some time.
And honestly, I think it is getting close to the point where it has to be either the bow or the mitts in right side GT, or in that one chest in Turtle Rock that didn't get opened, which, again, if that's something important, is not good for Michael. So Liam is heading the right way to get his cane to Samaria. He is not going to prioritize Meyer afterwards, most likely, because he knows there's nothing else there. But
Right.
whether he will go to T-Rock or try to make that ice play is going to be interesting.
Dr. Amamine, mitts are logically required if Ice Palace or Smiths have something, or like is if Ice Palace is a crystal. But there are ways around those requirements, as in the form of sequence breaks. So mitts are not a hard requirement.
Yeah, even in these glitch logics, there's still stuff that is not expected of the player. So logical requirements and practical requirements, much like the no glitches rule set, are very different things sometimes. And Michael kind of needs to watch out. He's sitting at 1 heart right now. I'm surprised he didn't powder the fairy in that room he was just in, because that could have given him back his full health. And chat just being evil right now, talking about if the blacksmith or purple chest has the bow, when Michael was about 1 clip away from checking them before he got the accidental jump off the ledge that ruined it all.
Yeah, we saw a race a few days ago that a failed YBA to Smiths could have changed the outcome had they actually succeeded. So the Smiths can definitely be a playmaker sometimes if they hold progression, because it's a check that not a lot of people want to make, because as far as
Michael,
time investments go, you know, the Smiths is kind of one of those things that just takes a little bit of time that people don't want to spend.
Yeah, it's one of the most annoying locations in OWG. I just have to sigh at trying to hover past those lasers. It just isn't gonna happen. It doesn't work. I've tried it. Now Michael going to kill Viddy, and Liam heading down this way makes me think that he's just gonna go jump back into the Meyer area and go clear Viddy as well. So we're gonna be pretty well split here soon, with Michael a clear T-Rock ahead.
Does the mirror shield work when you're hovering?
It does, but... or I believe it does. I actually haven't found a good way to test it, but I believe it would only work in the direction you were facing. So yeah, you'd
Liam,
have to, every
very
time the
nice
laser was about to
execution
fire,
there.
you'd have to turn left to block the laser, right to block the laser, and then keep going, and that'd be horrible.
Michael having a little bit of trouble in that room.
Yeah, thankfully he got that thing to hit right in time as he was getting kind of short on magic there. He should be fine at this point. And Liam is actually going to, because of that little bit of a hiccup, he's probably going to be just moments behind instead of a good chunk of the dungeon behind. Unfortunately, in Overworld glitches, you don't see spooky action very often because, you know, we very rarely use the flute. And even when we do, and the other way to set up spooky action is still a time save, but it's one that most people don't know, and it's not a very big time save.
So the bow could be the great equalizer here, provided that Liam knows how to skip to Laser Bridge. Not everybody does. If the bow shows up in a place where, say, blacksmiths, you know, that could put our runners on par at this point.
Yeah, it's getting interesting. The bow as go mode item isn't something that people aren't used to seeing. It's kind of one of those things that's annoying in no glitches modes too. But there's just enough stuff that both these runners have kind of been through that it could make this kind of interesting down the wire here.
Yeah, because, again, Michael K has cleared Turtle Rock, which is an important thing to note. But if Liam can skip that, well, Big Key was in the front anyway, so I don't know how much time he could actually save.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually going to be able to save any time in T-Rock. Really, the main thing with that particular dungeon will come down to that Chain Chomp chest. Although if he goes in the front door and gets the big key, then he could just peace out and go down, jump into Laser Bridge.
But it does look like he's going for Turtle Rock now anyway, so he will probably just full clear it.
Yeah, unless that chest is the bow, in which case he'll probably get that chest and go, hey, that's go mode, and then walk out for a better entrance.
Yeah. Looks like he may start from the front.
I kind of like the idea, to be honest, because there are 3 very quick checks in the front of T-Rock. And even if you're going to go in one of the other doors, getting these out of the way since you have the medallion anyway isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, the key is often, the big key is often in the front. Because it can only be lava chest and prior. Because it can't be on Laser Bridge since that's not in the Laser Bridge skip is not in logic.
Meanwhile, Michael is making the play back into GT to go check the right side. At some point, we gotta find either the Titan's Mitts or the bow. The Titan's Mitts mean you were right that they should have gone to Dice Palace all along. The bow means they're in go mode, and their decision not to go Dice Palace ends up paying off.
Yep, not quite the bow.
It's close, just tie a string to it and call it a bow.
Yeah, so this race is going to come down to really who finds the bow first and where.
Michael is about to head into GT. He's doing the clip the little bit harder way by clipping into the wall instead of getting hook speed lined up, but it's a little bit quicker that way given his situation. Hey, Liam getting the 2 chests over here. This will be his big key and a small key. Michael, meanwhile, dealing with everybody's favorite room, tile room. And we're about to get a major moment of truth here on Liam's side when he opens his chest in the Chain Chomp room. We're gonna see if maybe we missed something and Michael made a very good call, or if something terrible went wrong.
Well, there's Titan's mitts. And it was just 10 arrows, so Michael missed nothing.
Yeah, he definitely made a mistake, but he didn't get punished for it. It wasn't anything awful in there.
So mitts means Bo could be in Ice Palace now.
Yep, in fact, we've rapidly approached the point where I think it pretty much has to be Ice Palace or Smith's or Purple Chest. Or right here, of course, but I hope it's not right here.
Michael almost getting trolled by that beetle.
Also, I just realized that I actually forgot that Michael hadn't done the Mimic clip the first time he was here. So this is a lot closer of a race than I think we were both kind of giving it credit for earlier. I think Michael has a blue potion? I hope?
Well, see, the place to die would be here, if you're gonna die. But I don't know, I may have just taken the intentional death. But
Oh, I see why he didn't use the potion earlier. He was waiting to use it so he could do a similar trick to the potion camera unlock in Pod. Effectively did the same thing to get those mimics in the first room out of there much faster. And then absolutely kills the mimic clip in room 2. There they go! Bye, guys!
yeah, Michael definitely knows what he's doing with that clip.
Yeah, that was just silly good. So, we got Michael going upstairs GT, entering the gauntlet. Liam is going to wrap up Turtle Rock here while he's doing so. If he goes into GT, he's going to be a little bit behind Michael by the end of it, I would say. If he decides to go Ice Palace, he is probably going to have a chance at jumping into the lead.
Alright, so both of our runners have gone through Palace of Darkness. And Liam picking up those silvers. Liam's gonna finish Turtle Rock here. So it's gonna come down to Ice Palace and Smiths, and Liam is going to get out of Turtle Rock a little bit ahead.
It's all going to come down to what he checks next, who's going to be in the driver's seat at that point. And Liam getting a good start to that fight. Does it? Yep. It was good enough for the 0 cycle. Sometimes Trinex just decides, no, not today.
Very nicely done on Trinex. But, I mean, what do you expect for Gold Sword?
Taking just a piece of his heart. You know, he doesn't want to take all of Trinex's heart. He needs, you know, he needs some of it.
Yeah, well, it was enough to give him another heart container, so there you go.
Liam with the save and quit, which kind of implies to me he's... Well, I take it back. I was going to say kind of implies he might not be going to GT, but then he went to Mountain Cave, which kind of feels like he might be going to GT.
It could be a Spike Cave GT combo.
And Michael just left the chest with the lamp unopened. That's, okay, and now that chest, he's now... Does he forget he needs the bow for pods still? Wait, never mind, the bow can't be up here. He's in go mode at the top here. Never mind, I'm dumb. But if he had opened that chest, he would have gotten to laugh at the lamp logic with us.
And it looks like Liam is about to get those mitts as well.
And with this, they should be leaving GT at about the same time. I think Michael will get out of here a little bit sooner, but not by much. And yeah, we are down to Ice Palace, where there are 3 items, or Blacksmith and Purple Chest, which are 2 items for where the bow could be.
Man, the glue they use for those tiles is really shoddy.
It really is, and to answer a quick question in chat, for this mode, we need to just get all 7 crystals and clear Ganon's tower, as well as kill Ganon. If you try to fight Ganon before you've got all 7 crystals, he doesn't take damage in phase 4, so you just need to get, same as a regular state, you need your crystals, GT, and Ganon, but you can do glitches to make it a little bit nicer of movement.
Yeah, if you've ever played Entrance Randomizer, it works kind of the same.
And Liam is heading to Ice Palace. So out of the 5 items that it could possibly be for the bow, he's going for 3 of them. Also, I underestimated how much time Michael had left versus how long it took to get those 4 chests on the right side. Liam made it out a little bit quicker. Okay, that's one thing off the list. Purple Chest has a piece of heart. There are now 3 items in Ice Palace and 1 on the Blacksmith to look for.
Alright, this is quite the race here. We've got... So Michael K also headed to Ice Palace.
Yep, they have done all the same things. They have all the same things, excepting the couple things that Liam picked up that Michael walked away from. And, yeah, this is within a minute of each other at this point.
So, right now, it's going to come down to execution. There are still some checks scattered about that they could be doing in the overworld, but if Bo turns up here, it's definitely going to be an execution race to the end.
I actually don't think there are any overworld locations that haven't been checked by at least one of them. There might be some stuff that were checked by one, but not both, though.
Smith.
Liam getting the hint that the Moon Pearl is in the castle, probably thinking, I wish you would have told me that in Eastern Palace instead of in Ice Palace. Michael is using the Inkling sprite. It is a Splatoon-based sprite. Yeah, that answers that. So Liam gets the Ice Palace bomb jump nice and quickly. Michael, I believe, set up for it as well. Because if they get the bow, they want to be able to just go fight Colts there. They don't want to have to go the long way around, or even the less long but still requiring the big key and some small keys way.
And Liam is going to go ahead and start on the left. If he's lucky, he might get a small key here or the bow. Oh, there's item 1.
20 rupees there. Michael gets the Ice Palace hover for, those times when you don't feel like doing a bomb jump, just walk over the hole.
And another big 20. Is Liam gonna go all in? No.
Yeah, you can't take that risk even with 2 items all the way down. Ice Palace is just too slow to get back to this point.
But it looks like Michael K is gonna go and check the Hammerlock side first.
So depending on the contents of this chest, Michael... Okay, it's a small key. So if the bow is on the right side, then Michael will jump back into the lead. If the bow is on Cold Stare, then Liam will get his way back there while Michael does Iced Tea Room.
And there's the bow! So Liam only probably 30 seconds behind. This is going to be quite the race to the finish.
Okay, so Michael needs to get a small key here, so he had to go upstairs, which is going to bring it a little bit closer even. He's heading back down, but Liam, with the small key he has, is not going to have to do that if he checks this chest first.
And there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a race.
Alright, so we got Michael gonna be the first to take on the pleasure of hitting Cold Stare, unless Liam skips getting a fairy here. Michael going up for some extra health. Liam looks like he's going straight down to Cold Stare, taking the lead back.
Yeah, that little bit of safety play is good because you don't want to die in this situation. That is the way to lose a lot of time, but it gave Liam just the time because this is so close to kind of swing the pendulum back in his favor.
And now we got Liam engaging Cold Stare using some Fire Rod strats. Does have a blue potion, will be able to fill up on the magic. And look, Michael K first to break the ice, so will be the first to attack Cold Stare and finish him off. Liam finishing off a few seconds behind.
Yeah, Liam tried to do the NMG kill, where you do a couple of dash pokes on Cold Stare, and it was down. He was too low, so the puffs escaped. It kind of cost him some time. With Butter Sword, you don't want to do that. You just want to spin them into the corner and then swipe away, because you're going to kill them before another ice block falls if you do.
All right, Michael K going for the save and quit, and Liam going for the mirror and walking on over to Eastern. We'll get to find out here which one is faster. Looks like Liam taking the lead back here. Gonna get to that dark portal first.
Yeah, people tend to underestimate how much time the save and quit menu takes to pull up. And it was a good call by Liam to just mirror and walk there.
Alright, so Liam will be the first to get to Palace of Darkness.
And he's going to save some time on Michael here, because one way or the other, if you don't have Lamp, even if you know the dark rooms really well, you're a bit slower. So Michael go-moding the top of GT is going to cost him a few seconds here. Not a huge amount if he does things smoothly, but it's going to cost him some time.
Alright, so Liam has no small keys. Yep. So he has to go right side. Michael will have that small key because he did go ahead and clear right side. So this is going to cost Liam some time.
Yep, it effectively probably balances out that darkroom difference. So the good thing for Michael is he has the fire rod. So when he gets to the dark turtle room in the basement, he can just use the fire rod to light the torch. He'll be able to see what he's doing, and he won't have to worry about getting wrecked by the turtles, which nobody enjoys. But he still has to get through the couple dark rooms around it without being able to see.
Liam opting to fill up his health. I mean, you have no idea how close you are to your opponent, so I wouldn't fault him for that, even though it was only 2 hearts.
I'm not gonna lie, with red mail and sitting at, 15 hearts, even if you don't refill, you're an hour and 57 minutes into the race. Even if you don't know what's going on, you know your opponent is gotta be right there. That's just a time usage that is not really necessary.
And Michael does not have Fire Rod out, so is going to opt to do the Turtle Party in the dark. That'll give Liam some time to catch up here. Liam entering the Turtle Party, but has the lamp, so will be able to take them on the easy way.
Michael, why use Fire Rod?
And both of them now entering about the same time.
Michael missed the block a little bit, though, so Liam taking the advantage, heading up to Helmasaur. 17 hits of the hammer to the face, and then 2 swipes of the sword will do it.
Or if you're feeling fancy, you could do 1 silver arrow.
That's true. You could even do 5 bombs for the mask instead of 17 hammer hits if you really wanted to make your life more difficult.
And down goes the mask for Michael, and down goes Helmasaur King. Michael finishing just a few seconds behind Liam, so it's all going to come down to the Ganon fight.
Yep, with Butter Sword and Silver Arrows, the Ganon fight is not going to be difficult. But even when the Ganon fight isn't difficult, you're not immune to pressing the wrong direction on your D-pad when a fire bat hits you and falling into the pit of doom.
Yeah, at this point, even Ganon falls. Just messing up on a cycle could cause some time loss.
And Michael gonna do some different routing, apparently. He has saved and quit. He's going to I don't know what he's gonna do here.
Well, this is an interesting play from Michael, and it could cost him because I have no idea why he didn't just walk out of pod, but maybe there is some clip that he is aware of that would be faster.
Yeah, this is a nice bit of showing off glitches, but it's 110% slower than going just the normal way. Remind me to give Michael a little bit of crap for that, because last night he gave me a little bit of crap for using the Skull Woods clip to go from DM to Skull Woods when it was slower. So now I gotta return the favor on that one.
Oh, he's doing the moat clip. Alright, so Liam, all Liam has to do is survive this Ganon fight, is within the lead already on phase 3. This is his if he does not fall off the platform.
Yep, and with Silver Arrows, he just needs to get a couple little hits here. Not gonna take much. First Silver Arrow in. He is letting Torch Glitch expire, waiting for Ganon to move to set up a double. He's got it lined up. 1, 2. And here is number 4.
Alright, Liam, all he has to do is cross the bridge, and he wins. Liam Atlas finishing with official SRL time in first place of 2 hour, 1 minute, 21 seconds.
And Michael on phase 4 of his Ganon fight right now. That clip definitely cost him some time. It wasn't, the difference between winning and losing the race, but man, that would have been real close if he had just walked back to Ganon like Liam did.
Yeah.
And that'll bring Michael in second with a SRL official time of 2:02:04. A total of 43 seconds difference between the two of them. So it looks like we will be joined by Michael here soon. Looks like Liam is planning to join us as well. In the meantime, we haven't really mentioned it, especially with how much that race heated up in the middle. But if you guys enjoyed what you saw here, drop these runners a follow. They're both very good at this game. They know what they're doing when it comes to clips. They make for good watches when they're doing races of this kind of stuff. I highly advise giving them a follow.
Yeah, that was quite the finish to that race. That lead changed hands about five or more times with that final approach to Ganon.
Yeah, it was, it looked for a while like that Quake Medallion was going to be Michael's key to victory, but eventually it just kind of all ran together because that bow really ate them both up.
Not to mention the location of the Cane of Samaria really cut some of that Quake advantage out because Michael did not want to do Meyer without that Cane of Samaria.
And of course, Meyer was empty anyway, so even if he had jumped in there, he would have gotten both items, but had to double dip it like Liam eventually did anyway. Medallion Boy melts a room again.
Hi there.
Hello, Michael K, and we are also joined pretty much simultaneously by Liam Atlas. Hello to you both, and GG.
GG. That bow.
GG, thank you. Yeah, that bow was ridiculous, but
Yeah.
this is the 3rd out of 4 races so far where I've been in bow mode, and I think twice in ice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really close race at the end. The lead changed hands like 5 or 6 or more times. While you did basically as soon as you guys entered Ice Palace.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like a good watch.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, how early did you get your Moon Pearl from the front of Escape? Because I didn't go in until like 40 minutes.
I got it like before Kakariko or anything. I kinda was doing Witch of Outcast together with Kakariko. And then I grabbed the shaken and didn't realize that I got the glitch.
Michael, I gotta ask you, since you called me out on wasting time with the Skull Woods clip yesterday, I just gotta say something about that path to Ganon.
Well, it's technically faster. Just need to be quick on it.
Well, Liam proved that it was definitely not a quicker route because we could see the direct comparison of where Liam just walked over there and the clip took.
Okay, I didn't know
quite some
how it compares to just walking over, and compared to saving and quitting to Link's house.
Yeah, it was at the end of Helmasaur. You guys were sitting less than 10 seconds apart. Liam chose to just walk out of pod area and over to the pyramid. You did the really fancy and fun to watch clip, but that kind of just very largely.
Yeah, I kind of also messed it up, so I wasted like almost 10 seconds as well, just having to fix my camera in Sanctuary. So yeah.
Yeah, at that point, I was still just surprised that I hadn't lost yet, so I didn't even want to take any chances on any clips or anything. So I just went NMG.
Yeah, this is as far as Overworld glitches go, this is one of the longer seeds. I don't know what the longest we've had in the tournament is, but over 2 hours is rare.
Well, I know that since I got good, my longest seed was like 230, and that was Go Mode, Isa, and Purple Chest. But yeah, it's definitely one of the longer ones.
Liam, you mentioned the Moon Pearl earlier. How do you like the hint in, I think it was Ice Palace? It was like, hey, the Moon Pearl's in the castle.
Yeah, I think it was the second hit in Ice Palace, and I was like, gee, thanks, game. Yeah, because as soon as I got the mirror, I figured that it'd probably be something Moon Pearl in Dark World somewhere, but I just didn't go to front of Escape.
Yeah. It's good for you that you didn't try to pull a lot of bunny shenanigans, because that would have taken you just farther away from that Moon Pearl. Because, I mean, you can do a lot with just the mirror. It's just slower than having the Moon Pearl outright.
Yeah, I figured I would do the easy ones like check Sea House and drop into Skull Woods, but then since I hadn't done Castle the front yet, I would do that since I'd be quicker than trying to do any of that other bunny stuff.
I do want to bring up from near the beginning, when Michael got Moon Pearl, he did the super jump from Death Mountain down to the bottom of the map. Ended up going into Swamp to reset the camera, checking the hint, seeing that the green pendant hit a unique item. So for a while there, we weren't really sure if he was just going to run away with this from knowing to aim for that green pendant. But obviously the Cane of Samaria and then the bow kind of both delayed you guys a lot.
It was Quake, right, on Green Pendant?
Yeah, Medallion for Maya, yeah. Nice. Medallion at least.
Yeah, it was just interesting that, man, I felt there was twice I felt that I was really behind when I didn't get Moon Pro, when it was open Sphere Zero, and when I left the cane in the back of Deep Sound. But Michael did the same as well.
Yep. So we kind of had the same bigger time losses, and meanwhile our beginning roads were kind of different, I guess.
Yeah, that bow proved to be the great equalizer because Michael, you had quite the advantage for a while, but the longer it took to find that bow, the more Liam had chances to catch up, and eventually it came down to you both entering ice at about the same time.
Yeah, for me it was kind of a coin flip between going to GT and finishing that one up, or going for Ice Palace, hoping that the bow is inside there, and I choose the wrong one. But yeah, who wants to go to Ice Palace?
Yeah, I was thinking the same. We were talking about that in the chat a little bit. And why would you ever want to go to ice? It's one of those where you see the mitts in GT and your heart sinks a little bit. Like, oh,
No, I should have done the other thing that I talked about. Well, yeah. I guess you also did the GT Mimic Slip as well?
yeah, I finished GT my first time up, even though I didn't have a cane to do right side, but I did left and top.
I did it on my second trip when I came back with cane. I don't necessarily want to go upstairs with too low equipment.
I think when I was there, I actually had almost everything I needed already.
Yeah, I still had a few things to search for, I think.
Also, speaking of upper GT, Michael, if you're curious, the lamp was in the Helmosaur room.
Oh, that was a fun one, yeah.
Yeah. Who needs that?
Oh, that actually reminds me of one thing. Michael, did you purposely skip the chain jump chest and never go back for it ever again?
Wait, I did skip that? I didn't realize. Well,
Yeah,
Would
you
have
spawned the chest and then just kind of walked away. We were real worried about that.
Yeah. Would have realized once I would have not picked up the big key, I guess. Or something like that.
I think it was
Otherwise, I would have
junk, like-
probably.
Yeah, we thought it was like maybe some Galaxy Brain key logic read or something.
No.
And then it turned out to be 10 arrows.
Yeah, that was definitely intentional. I already had 30 arrows at that point and kind of didn't need them, I hope. But no, there's no real way to know anything about keys for when going backwards through Todorok.
I will have to comment that I think this is the highest collection rate I've seen in a race, from myself at least.
Yeah, 191.
You beat both of my Oops All Dungeon seeds from yesterday by 10, so definitely got me there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just thank you for commentating, and thanks for Sammy for doing the tracking. Sammy doing a lot of tracking, so big thanks to them.
Yep. And thanks to all you out there watching, and make sure you give our runners a follow, as well as my co-commentator MentosMan8, and our aforementioned tracker Semimas. And let's take a look at our schedule here, because we've got some more Overworld Glitch races for you today. We've got Michael K again versus Oasi 28. That's on SpeedGaming 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we've got Death Futon versus MentosMan8 on SpeedGaming 3. So that'll be match 2 between them. And
well, at midnight, 12 a.m. tomorrow pretty much. Zero, Rush versus Exable, on SpeedGaming 1.
So.
Yeah.
Yep, but if you're looking for any other speed gaming activities, we got on Speed Gaming Main, we got the Super 16 race number 3 that is underway from 12 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be going on for quite some time. And then we've got the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring Tournament. That started about 15 minutes ago on Speed Gaming 2. And then we've got the Wind Waker Randomizer Spring Tournament. That started at 12 p.m. Eastern, and that's on Speed Gaming 4. Any final thoughts, Mentos Man, on this seed, or anything else?
Just a quick thank you for the co-coms. I was slated to go by myself until about an hour before the race, and you were one of the 2 people who stepped up to offer the help. So I very much appreciate it. And, it's a little bit of an insight into your mind before we schedule our races, since we are in the same group. Note to self, early Ice Palace.
Okay.
So yeah, other than that, just thanks everyone for watching. As Michael said, thanks to our tracker, Sammy, made our lives a lot easier by tracking everything. It was a very fun race to watch, a fun one to calm, and it was a good time all around.